6 months after Emily and Josh vanished, their final video footage mysteriously surfaced on a dark web paranormal forum. The video ended abruptly with static and a haunting whisper. One hollow, too hollow. Now one more to swallow. The footage caught the attention of Avery Clark, a former park ranger turned occult researcher who had once patrolled near Eden's Hollow. She remembered the area well, though the town was officially listed as disbanded decades ago. She'd heard whispers in the Ranger HQ of entire rescue teams that simply disappeared while searching for lost hikers. Against the advice of her colleagues, Avery headed out to the last known GPS coordinates from the vlogger's uploaded file. As she drove deeper into rural Florida, her signal cut out. Birds stopped singing. The air pressed down like a storm was coming, except the skies were clear. She arrived at a dilapidated church half swallowed by the swamp, surrounded by cypress trees shaped like twisted bodies mid-scream. The front door had a symbol carved into it, the same runes seen in the vlogger's video. Inside, she found pews overturned and a handwritten journal lying open on the pulpit. Its entries dated back to 1923, written by a preacher named Elias Grummond, who had claimed to silence the forest voices with blood sacrifices. The town had followed him into madness, performing rituals to bind the swamp's hunger, but only for a time. They live beneath the roots, he wrote. Their mouths are open, always open, and when they whisper your name, you become hollow. Suddenly, Avery heard something thud on the roof, then another, like footsteps, but heavier, wet, dragging. She raised her flashlight and caught a glimpse of a pale figure crawling on all fours along the ceiling, its head upside down, its mouth agape in a silent scream. She ran, only to find her car submerged up to the windows in black swamp water. Stranded, she stumbled back into the woods and met Luther, a grizzled old man with milky eyes and hands burned from trying to cut the whispers out. He had survived for years by never speaking his own name aloud and by burning any object that might remind the swamp of who he was. Together they made a plan. Return to the sunken chapel beneath the cypress grove, where Grummond's final ritual had sealed something ancient behind a stone altar. Avery believed the seal was weakening, and the swamp was no longer whispering just names, but commands. Inside the sunken chapel, they discovered tunnels made of roots and bone, walls pulsing like lungs. The deeper they went, the more distorted reality became. Luther began seeing dead family members, and Avery kept hearing her own voice echoing from behind her, calling her deeper. They finally reached the stone altar, and behind it, a hole in the ground, a bottomless breathing pit. Something rose from it. It had no face, just a constantly shifting mass of others. Emily's, Josh's, Grummond's, hundreds of people hollowed out and merged. It spoke in 1,000 voices. We are Eden. We are hunger. You are the story they forgot until now. Luther screamed his name. Luther Calvin Greaves, sacrificing himself as the entity surged forward, consuming him and momentarily collapsing in on itself. Avery seized the chance to recite the sealing rite carved into Grummond's journal. With blood, salt, and her voice, she completed the forgotten ritual. The swamp went silent. The water receded. She woke on the edge of the forest, alone, shivering, the altar gone. But in the dirt beside her, written with a finger, 3 hollow. 1 fled. The roots, remember,